we doing, traders? Welcome to the SPACs attack, where we talk everything SPACs. And if you've had a good weekend and you enjoyed the March Madness, hit the like button. Let's get this show started. Let's bring on my man doing work in the back, Chris Katje. Oh, the old mute trick.
What's up, Mitch? How we doing? Happy Monday to you.
Hey, what's up, guys? As you guys can hear, Chris sounding a little bit clearer today. We're getting some new equipment for Chris, trying to step up the show. So definitely, if you enjoy the upgrades and the new moves, definitely smash the like button as we get started today. So how was your weekend, Chris? Did you enjoy some March Madness?
I did. Oh, man, I love March Madness time. I love watching the games. You know, I definitely missed the tournament, not being played last year. There's been tons of upsets, tons of, exciting finishes to these games, a couple overtimes. What's not to love about March Madness?
Exactly. You can't get mad. We got the March SPACNESS. You know it, crew cut. Hey, shout out to the crew cut right here. Hey, hit the like button. Let's get into some headlines, and then we can keep moving forward, guys. So take us back, Chris.
All right, guys. Yeah, so on Monday, we have a couple deals to talk about, some news to get into before we get into our watch list and March SPACNESS, crowning our Sweet 16. So up first, we have TDAC. TDAC is merging with lottery.com. This was one that was reported a long time ago. They did announce a definitive agreement, but a new investor presentation came out today, providing some details for the first time on this integration. And then they did also announce that they purchased a Mexican lottery company, Agnar. No terms disclosed, but this one getting lots of eyes now with that new investor presentation and that merger this morning. Last week, one of the companies we highlighted was Utz Brands, ticker UTZ. Earnings last week, and then they also appeared on Mad Money on Friday night with Jim Cramer. This is one snack foods that kind of went unloved throughout the SPAC process, and it has been a steady gainer since that merger completed, and now getting a lot of attention. So I see 26.18, but if you look at the chart, just a steady climber after that merger went through. Jim Cramer, big fan on Friday's show. So keep an eye on this one going forward. They did have strong guidance on that earnings report as well. Ticker CIIC, they announced the approval of that merger with Arrival, an electric vehicle company out of the UK. Ticker will trade as ARVL later this week. Shares are up today. Remember, we did have Arrival on the program not too long ago, talking about those electric vehicles and also their micro factories, which is, a key part of their growth going forward. So keep an eye out on this one as the merger gets completed. We have OUST, that's Ouster, a LiDAR company, given a $25 price target and buy rating from Craig Hallam. If you remember on the show a couple weeks ago, our guest, JMac Investing, he hit on Ouster being a favorite of his in the LiDAR space. So keep an eye out, getting some attention now from analysts out there as well. We have Bwmx. This is a former SPAC, a Mexican direct-to-consumer company. I've always kind of called it like the Tupperware or storage goods company of Mexico. They announced a new acquisition, 60% control of GuruCom, which is a mobile virtual network operator. So, this company quickly becoming a key consumer conglomerate in Mexico. They have a logistics business. They have that direct to consumer. And now they're going to use this mobile virtual network operator to connect homes in Mexico. So I'm going to dive into this one in some more detail later today. I think, that this is a key growth idea, and I actually really like this former SPAC going forward. It was one of the top performers last year. I see 38.25 today. Keep an eye out on this one. We have GIK merging with Lightning eMotors. We, of course, had them on the program as well, and I do own shares of GIK. They set April 21st as their merger vote date with Lightning eMotors. Butterfly Network, that's ticker BFLY. They announced that they will report full fiscal year earnings on March 29th, so a week from today. Then I want to highlight, we have VACQ. This is the company taking Rocket Lab public. So this is a rocket launch company, a SpaceX competitor. Shares are up 12% today. No surprise, because the big news is that their launch window opened today. This is for their 19th Electron mission. They're going to take satellites up to space for several customers, including Black Sky, which is also going public via SPAC merger. That's ticker SFTW. So the keys here, though, are, they're deploying those satellites. They're also doing demonstrations of satellites for the University of New South Wales and also the U.S. Army Space and Missile Division. And then they're also operating on orbit as a risk reduction demonstration ahead of their planned launch to the moon later in 2021 and the planet Venus in 2023. So they're going to, test out some things while they're up there. So that merger, of course, $4.1 billion valuation. They're one of only 2 U.S. companies delivering regular access to orbit. They've completed those 18 launches. This 19th launch will deploy over 100 satellites total for the company now. So I think they're going to get a lot of attention with this new flight. And then also notable that Barron's over the weekend mentioned several space stocks, including some SPACs, VACQ, HOL, NPA, and SRAC. I do own HOL and SRAC. As kind of being, the next space stocks to watch. So, they called them, of course, SRAC, the FedEx of space. They called NPA the American Tower of space. And then they talked, about those rocket launch companies, being keys in the space thing. And no surprise, this comes coincidentally as the ARC Space ETF is set to launch next week at the earliest. So keep an eye out on space stocks all week, guys, as I think they're going to get a lot of play here. Then we do have 2 deals. We had one announced late last week. That's TBA merging with IronSource. That's a leading business platform for the app economy. Revenue of $455 million expected in 2021, $622 million in fiscal 2022. This deal valued the company at $10.3 billion. And then our other deal announced this morning. This one's been rumored for a little while. We told you about it on the show. Of course, we have MLAC, that's Malacca Straits, announced a deal with Asia Vision Network, which is Indonesia's fastest growing OTT media provider. So think Netflix for Indonesia. So revenue estimate of $108 million in fiscal 2021, $149 million in fiscal 2022. So they are currently the 3rd largest broadband operator in Indonesia. Their customer base, over 300,000 hours of content, 100,000 hours as video on demand ready. They already talk about, outpacing Netflix and Disney Plus in their current country. OTT media penetration, only 2% in the country. So lots of room to grow. They have some key partnerships with some media companies already there and some exclusive rights going forward. So, I really like this deal. I'm seeing $9.90 today. Again, that's ticker MLAC, Malacca Straits, the Indonesian Netflix. So keep an eye out on this one. Then we turn to our calendar. We have a couple votes this week. We have RPLA Replay voting on that merger with Finance of America on the 25th. And also on the 25th, we have BFT voting on their merger. And then next week, we get some earnings from Butterfly, as I mentioned, and also Romeo Power. So that's what I've got for today, Mitch. What do you think? Any notable headlines jump out to you there?
Yeah, one thing that definitely stuck out to me, and we could talk a little bit more about it, is kind of these Barron's space stocks. I was actually taking a look at the space stocks this morning. A lot about what you mentioned, the Cathie Woods pop that I'm looking for. And one of the things that I've talked about, and I talked about this weeks ago before this kind of happened, is we're going to be looking for a pullback in space stocks so that it could make sense to get in and try to maybe front run Cathie a little bit instead of her front running you. So I think this is definitely an opportunity that you got to measure out. Just to kind of point out and to show you a little bit is you could see it here. So HOL already up there, 8% on the day. I think this has a lot to do with what we've talked about. Another one that's on my radar, guys, on this list is NPA. Reason why is I saw it off the support. Looks like it's up already 5%. So that gets me a little bit antsy that I should have maybe been getting it today. But we could take a look here at this chart. Look at that support right there underneath it in the 12s. I really like this chart. NPA definitely stands out to me. And one of the things that stands out to me is, the way that I see it is probably the same way that Cathie's technical people are going to be looking at this, seeing the support, seeing the value, seeing the 24 that it went up to before. And why not try to get it near this 12 and kind of measure down risk towards when it popped up from the SPAC time.
Yeah, I think the key with NPA, Mitch, I've talked about how they're a couple years away from revenue, right? This is the 5G from space. But for anyone out there, if you watched Cathie Wood's interview right here on Benzinga, right, with Jason Raznick, she doesn't care about buying stocks based on their value this year. She is a forward-looking investment manager. So she's looking at the next 5 years. What is this company going to do over the next 5 years? If I look at NPA and that 5G growth over the next 5 years, I think this is a no-brainer to get added to the ARK Space ETF based on that. So I love the pullback here from the 20s. I didn't want to chase this one into the 20s there, but I think this one provides, some good long-term outlook, and I think it gets added to the ARK Space ETF.
All right, we'll definitely have to take a look here, and we'll see if it gets on up there. So we'll take a look here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into the next step here. One thing I did want to talk about is when will the Cathie ETF actually come out? Earliest I've heard is the 23rd. I personally think it's going to be closer towards the end of the week, looking towards getting through this kind of environment before it comes out. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. So definitely stay tuned. I know that there will be a lot of traders probably trying to get in the pre-market when that news does come out. So be aware. Look at those pre-market levels. See how high it pops up on that pre-market rip. Because I'm sure there's going to be traders kind of waiting for the news, waiting. As soon as they see it, the agos are going to jump first. Then the retail traders jump out after that. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's get into our watch list. I want to get into our March SPACNESS. So let's just first take a look at what SPACs are up on the day. Anything that we see that we have some opportunity and can take a look at the charts. All right, guys. So definitely smash the like button if you want to get into this watch list and get a little bit more in depth here. We can take a look here and see what we see moving. But definitely, I just talked about HOL. B-Fly up there, not doing too bad, 7% move on the day. Will be an interesting stock to watch over. RSI, has been doing great since the earnings. I like this little dip that you're getting an opportunity in right now. It's going to be interesting to watch it through these levels, but I think it gets strong through 20. So pay attention towards that level. I think that's really the key and the line in the sand, because if you draw that Alt-T, that trend line for our Benzinga Pro users, just let it get back above that, and with some strength, with some volume, and that'll show that it's kind of heading towards that $26 level. All right, guys, so let's keep running through here, see what other stock stands out to me. Of course, down here, another space stock. All right, so definitely keep those on watch, guys. I'll keep an eye on those. Another one that I've been watching is a rival, man, just because I even saw news, and we could talk about this a little bit more in depth. Chris, what do you think? I saw, mentions of them with USPS now. There's been talks about the change maybe that could happen from Oshkosh. Could potentially a rival step in here?
I feel like maybe they could. That might be a little bit out there. They do have that deal with the UPS right now, where they get first dibs on those vehicles. So I wonder if there would be a conflict there at all. But I'm liking this one going into the merger. We haven't seen a SPAC that's traded up like that positively going into the vote and maintaining that level for a little while now. If you look at just that last week chart. And again, they announced a second location, here in the US. This is a UK company, but they're also focused on expanding in the US. And those micro factories, I mean, we saw that video, right, Mitch? And we heard from him. Those micro factories are just going to power their expansion so much here in the US. So this is one, where I think it's one of the best long-term SPACs out there.
Yeah, and with the recent news of the microfactory in Charlotte, North Carolina, it gets me excited. I'm about to reach out. If you're listening, Arrival, I want to come to the factory. I'm gonna get my vaccine, and I'm coming through. I want to do some more interviews, guys, and as businesses start opening up again, I'm gonna be reaching out to these SPACs to go to the factory. Chris and I need to go see these vehicles. Not only are we going to go ahead and interview, but we're going to work our way to do those in the factory interviews. You guys need to see these actual products. So I'm going to be working hard on moving that aspect over. So if you like that, hey, give me a thumbs up. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know if that's what you want to see. You want to see some in-depth, going even further, getting into the factories, watching the cars being made. I'm super excited about that. I know I'm going to be reaching out and trying to get that move on. But let's get into the fun time of the day, guys. If you guys want us to get into the March SPACness, let me see some of those likes start moving on up. And if we can get it moving, we can get right into it. Let's get up. Started with the Rocky. All right. Seeing some likes starting to roll through. Hey, if you guys want to see the SPACness, let me see the ones start rolling. So I know you're awake out there. Looks like we got 593 people here. Definitely smash the like button. Looks like Sambroski is ready. That's my man right there. Sambroski, we got to get a beer sometime, man. I can't blame you. All right, guys. So definitely looks like they're starting to wake up. I'm seeing the ones start rolling through. I'm excited. How was the round one for you, Chris? Did you enjoy it? Anything unexpected happened for you?
I did enjoy it. We had a couple upsets, but as I look through this list today, there are some really strong names out there. So again, there's over 500 SPACs out there searching for targets. But if you look at this list of some of these SPACs that were completed in 2020, 2021, there's great companies out there. So for all the hate that SPACs get, it's the, as I said last week, it's the same as other sectors. You just have to pick out the winners and separate them from the potential losers. If you look at this bracket, there's some huge names and some big winners here. So, I'm excited to get into today's matchups to knock out that Sweet 16 and see if we have any more upsets going forward.
All right, guys. Definitely, guys. All right, let's take a look here at our SPAC, our March SPACness here, guys. As you see from the top, the 2021 March SPACness Basketball Championship here. And we're going to get eventually to the National SPAC Championship on April 5th. So I'm super excited to work our way there. But until then, we got the second round, guys. So one of the things that I did is I started moving up our tickers to our second round. So let's start first with the West, like we should here, and kind of start rolling through here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we can only see the West, and we can start seeing some of these battles as we get through here. So the first battle of the day is going to be RMO versus RVPH here, guys. So definitely, guys, Romeo Power here versus I'll let Chris do some of this. So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah,
Fill
so
us in a little bit.
We got Romeo Power, a battery company. We, of course, had Lionel Selwood on the show. I do own shares of RMO, matching up against Reviva Pharmaceuticals, RVPH. That's a bio company currently trading under $9. If you remember, Romeo, did trade super high on that deal and did pull back and now is starting to show some more strength. So again, we're looking for which stock you think is going to perform best by the end of 2021. Hit a 1 for Romeo and a 2 for Reviva Pharmaceuticals.
All right. Hey, we'll start seeing these roll through 1s and 2s, guys. So let's start voting. I've seen some mention out there trying to get me to talk about some cannabis stocks. If you like cannabis, we got Cannabis Insider, guys, at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. They talk everything about cannabis. So go to that show. I'll probably be in the chat for you. I'll give you some insight, but you got to go to that show to check it out. All right, so I'm seeing some 1s.
I see lots of 1s. I see like 10 1s and 2 2s right now if I'm just looking quickly. So I think we have a winner there.
Hey, can't blame it. There you go. I'm seeing some Go Romeos. Let's see what happens. Yep. And we got a winner here. All right, this one was a little bit easier. Moving on to the Sweet 16. Romeo Powers. All right, guys. So we're going to be moving on with that one into the Sweet 16. Let's keep moving on towards the next battle here, which is going to be between VINC versus CLVR.
Yeah, so we've got Vincerx Pharma versus Clever Leaves, CLVR. Again, whoever mentioned cannabis in the comments, we have CLVR as a cannabis play that I think is pretty exciting because I think once we get some federal legalization in the US, they really make a push here. Otherwise, they are a key operator in Europe and Latin America. They even supply to some of the larger cannabis companies in Latin America. So hit 1 for VINC, 2 for CLVR. What do you think, Mitch? What's your vote on this one? I think we've got some votes rolling in, so it's safe to talk about it now.
All right. Well, like my man Zach said, I think cannabis likes me. Roll it up with Clever Leaves.
I had a feeling, and that would be my vote here too. Bio, not my strong suit. Cannabis, I think, is just one of those growth areas that's not going to go away. So I would be a 2 here too. What's the chat saying out there? It looks like lots of 2s, but
we're seeing a mix. My man Zach Thomas adding some good information there about operating expenses. We're seeing some 2s. A little bit of laughter. Johnny telling us game swap. Nope, not that one. But looks like the 2s are gonna win. Looks like we're getting high with Clever Leaves, guys. The Clever Leaves wins the game today, guys. Wins the game. Moving on here towards the Porch Group, PRCH versus the Golden Nugget here. Who's going to take this one, Chris?
Yeah, so we got Porch.com, a software provider for home services, trading at 18s right now versus Golden Nugget Online, of course, a sports betting and iGaming operator, around 1670 right now. This is a tough one for me personally because Golden Nugget, to me, they're in a great growth area, but they haven't been a strong performer in all the states. I looked at those Michigan results from February, of course, my home state here, and Golden Nugget, not getting much love here in the state for either sports betting or iGaming. So this is interesting. To me, I would almost have to lean towards Porch here.
Well, it's going to be an interesting battle here, guys. As you guys see, like Chris mentioned, GNOG just hasn't gotten the most love. I personally think that, this is the company that's going to take some years to really get the advantage that we're looking for. But, in this one, I'm actually going to stick with them. I'll stick with them on this one. I'm going to vote 2, guys. So it looks like we have some votes coming through now. Let's see who's winning, who's taking this one. Looks like a close battle right here. Chris, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing more twos out there, it looks like, but it was pretty close. So, but I'm also seeing people mention Fertitta with Golden Nugget Online.
Oh,
Yeah,
my man, Fertitta. I think he needs another show on CNBC to pay for this one.
Yeah. So I don't know. It looks pretty close, but I if I had to pick based on these votes, it looks like the twos have it.
Hey, it looks like the twos have it, but like we mentioned, we'll see how this one ends up in the long term, guys. All right, moving on towards the next battle here, BFI versus RSI, guys. This is going to be the last battle of the West here to determine our West side. So BFI versus RSI. I think this is the battle here. I think this is close, guys. The only thing I could say is that, hey, ain't no fake meat in my burger.
Yeah, so BurgerFi, a fast casual burger brand. We talked about them, the last matchup. They did get Martha Stewart on board. They are launching some new products. And then RSI, Rush Street Interactive. We, of course, have had, Niccolo De Masi on the show several times. He brought them public. Rush Street is a key operator in online sports betting and iGaming. New report I saw out today, they have a 15% market share nationally for iGaming. So, when we talk about iGaming being more profitable than sports betting long term, to me, I got to go with Niccolo here and support Rush Street Interactive. So I'm a 2 here.
All right, guys, I'm seeing a lot of twos rolling through here, but just to support the other side, because I feel like they should be supported here, is take a look around at retail restaurants and what you're seeing with this reopening trade. This very much could be part of that reopening trade and really start moving. I've been seeing these restaurants starting to get some bids. So believe it or not, I'm going to go against myself here, and I'm going to vote 1, even though I see those twos rolling through there, just because in the long term, I think RSI is just going to have some volatility. It's going to be coming up and down, up and down. Long term, yeah, 10 years, we could look out this one. I would stick with RSI. But for this year and going in towards kind of this summertime, I think you're going to see massive amounts of people. People have been talking about it as the roaring 20s are coming back, baby. Yeah, I know you've been hearing about that, Chris. Have you been hearing that?
I have, and Mitch, I'm gonna piggyback on your idea here with BurgerFi as someone who came from the restaurant industry. So we talk reopening trade, we talk people going back to restaurants. Here's my thesis with BurgerFi being a good play going forward. BurgerFi is growing their restaurant base. So they saw what the pandemic did and how online sales and mobile apps expanded. So now when they build new buildings, they're building them with that in mind versus these other restaurant companies that are having to spend a bunch of money to redo their space inside. So I think that's a key point. And I think BurgerFi looks good with that in mind going forward, as they can customize these buildings for the new economy where people get food delivered all the time and mobile app delivery. So I like that thesis there on the reopening, Mitch. So I like both of these, but what did we decide? I think RSI got it by the votes, right?
Yep, looks like RSI is going to takes the win there. But I'd have to ask Young Investor how he feels about the fake meat life. We mentioned that, not to really mention BFI there, but we talked about that. So shout out there. Let's keep rolling through here, guys. It looks like RSI takes the win, even though it was a close battle, at least in my eyes. But looks like it wasn't that close out there. So let's keep rolling through here. Let's roll down into the East, into the next section here as we move forward. Let's look at here, number 1 seed Michigan under DM versus the Ride Machine. What's going on with this one, Chris?
Yeah, so we got Desktop Metal, 3D printing, additive manufacturing against Ride, Lordstown Motors. Lordstown Motors obviously in the news last week, that short report. The CEO interview did not do them any favors on CNBC, talking about how those were not confirmed, orders. They were, just based on, order quantities maybe in mind. So, hit 1 for DM, 2 for ride. I'm going to have to go desktop metal here. I think is the better play for the end of the year. I think ride's going to see a lot of volatility right now.
All right. So, hey, we're seeing a little bit of up and down here. Seeing some mentioned, I got the fake meat started, the battles of the fake meat. Who knows? But hey, let's keep rolling through. Or should we push down the ride truck? Oh no, that's Nicola.
That's Nicola.
My bad.
They're out.
Hey, you gotta have fun with it. I'm seeing the ones rolling through there. I'll go ahead and I'll highlight one here. We'll keep moving on. But definitely, guys, we'll see what happens with the ride. Maybe they get with Nicola. They share their busted up transmission with Nicola's pushing down the hill strategy, and maybe make one company that goes to the moon. Who knows? We'll see what happens, guys. Like always, we're just having some fun here. Smash the like if you're having a good time. Let's keep rolling through here in the next battle. LAZR versus Bwmx.
Yeah, so we got Luminar Technologies, one of several LiDAR companies, LAZR, press 1. And we got DMS, that's Digital Media Solutions, press 2. They're a digital marketing company. Same thing I said last time when we had these companies in the tournament. The LiDAR space is crowded, and digital marketing, I think, is a great growth area. I would have to lean a 2 here for DMS, probably the lesser known of the two companies here. What's everyone think out there? What do you think, Mitch? I know you've been a big fan of some of that digital marketing and media.
Guys. Sometimes things are not as sexy, but if you look around, it might just be trending. So one thing I have noticed is how ads have changed, right? And no longer are you going to start seeing ads that are just generalized to the overall public. And so in my eyes, I have to immediately go with DMS here, because in my eyes, on the long term, you're going to start seeing these digital media companies stepping in, trying to make the solution between what used to be called, your advertising that you saw on TV, and now that cut the cord strategy really coming into play, and now the targeted ad system really coming into play. Different solutions going to be coming in there, whether it be just for marketing or it could be just to get out information. So the data. I think this is the era we're moving in, where your data matters more than probably even your daily business revenue. So the data that you have can change the company. Same being said also for LAZR, though. I mean, if we think about it, LiDAR in the long run, this is what's going to get the move going, I think, in EV. So what do you think here, Chris? Are you going to vote 1 or 2?
I voted 2, but I just tallied up, and it looks like LAZR has the vote. So we got outvoted, Mitch. Even if I count me and you, I still see the ones winning.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Zai here. Your data matters more than you. I would have to say that I agree with that. But looks like the LiDAR is taking it this one. This one was close. I mean, if I looked at
it was close. I counted 8 to 7 with me and you in there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move on here. LAZR. Oh, look at that. I went and messed up everything.
You picked a lot of winners there.
At least I can undo it, and then we'll keep rolling through here. All right. So LAZR. All right. Let's keep moving here. HTOO versus OPEN. A real battle here. Let's see. What do you got for us, Chris?
Yeah, so HTOO, we got Fusion Fuel Green. That's a hydrogen play here. And we got Open Door, OPEN, online home buying and selling. This one, Open Door I like, but if you like Open Door, you should probably check out that merger that we had last week with Supernova, because that offer pad, the comparables look really favorable compared to Open Door. Open Door, of course, Kathy Wood, a big fan of too. It's in the top 10 of a couple ARC ETFs. So, for me, I don't know HTOO as well. Hydrogen, I think is a good long-term trade, but for me, I would have to go open door here.
Well, it's definitely a close battle here. That's what I would say is that I'm not sure which one to lean, but what I will say is that why I'm going to lean open is because I think there is a housing boom started. You're seeing it, whether that be because of inflation or whether that be just because of the low interest environment. I'm going to go here with open here. So my vote would be for 2 here. Looks like I'm seeing some 2s mainly here. I did see some 1s roll through there eventually, but looks like mainly 2 wins here. Open takes.
I'm seeing 2s take it.
All right, next battle up. The mover of mover in the NFT game right now, HOFV versus the short reported Stock XL. Who takes this one, Chris?
Yeah, for me, this one's all about timing, right? We have HOFV, huge move last week as an NFT possible play. And then XL Fleet, similar to Lordstown Motors with that electrification, and also getting a short report out against it. To me, I think the favorable is going to be HOFV and the unfavorable is going to be XL. So I would have to go with the trade here with HOFV. I don't necessarily think that they get NFTs from the NFL because they have no experience in that. But as I said last week, they do have, a Hall of Fame game later this year in that exciting class going in with Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson. So HOFV would be the pick for me.
This one's a battle, man. One thing I'd have to say is I'm not sure about the NFT game. It kind of concerns me, just because I personally it's just hard for me, guys. It's really hard for me to trade that one. And sometimes when you're not in it, maybe it's the trade. But to me, I'm going to vote XL here. I'm going to vote 2 here. Looks like there's a bunch of 1s rolling through there, though. So looks like we do have an upset here. An upset. Number 2, Alabama getting taken down here by UConn here. HOFV here. And Bama goes down. Bama goes down. All right, guys. Looks like we got our East and West selected here. So let's move on here. As you guys can see, we've gotten the left side of our bracket filled in to the Sweet 16. I'll be moving down and moving these stocks closer. And as we get closer and closer, guys, the Sweet 16, the Final 4, we're going to be moving through here, the Elite 8. We're going to be kind of going deeper and deeper into these SPACs. Maybe even as we get towards the Final 4, we'll be pulling up their investors presentation, pulling up highlights from interviews if we've already had them on, and doing what we can to get you more in depth into these companies. Hopefully, at the end, we have a hell of a national SPAC championship on April 5th, and we'll see who the winner is. But let's keep rolling through here, guys. Let's get into the South. The South is waiting for us. So if you're from the South, let us know in the chat. Let us know where you're from, guys. If you're from the South, let us know. I'm a Florida boy, so I'll go ahead and say it. Go Fins, baby. Go Fins. You already know. Not a Detroit Lions fan. I'll say it. I'm going to get yelled at later for it. But go Dolphins, baby. All right, so the South seeds we got here. We got DraftKings versus OUST. Let us know, Chris, what's up with this battle?
Yeah, so, we got DraftKings, of course, one of the best performing SPACs last year, online sports betting and iGaming. And then we got Ouster, a LiDAR company. As I said, $25 price target, buy rating out from Craig Hallam, J-Mac when he was on the show with you, Mitch. I know this is one of his favorites, starting to get some love from analysts out there. It's below $10 right now after that deal went through. So I think there's some upside here. But to me, I feel like DraftKings is going to move on, and I feel like it's March SPACNESS after all. I know I was using DraftKings over the weekend during March Madness, so I would have to go with DraftKings here.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in the chat, seeing some 1s rolling through here, trying to give you some love out there. So definitely, guys, if you're in the chat, this is what it's all about, guys. So engage with us. Let us know how you feel. If you don't like it, 1 and 2s, also let us know. Comments. This is what we enjoy. And the call of the South. I mean, guys, Missouri, kind of the middle. We could say Mississippi, Georgia, the Alabama, maybe, that the South, guys, the South. All right, so I'm gonna go here and vote DKNG, the DraftKings, just because of the environment I see opening up 2021, New York, Florida, potential. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. And I saw that in a Bank of America note that I wrote on this morning. New York, Florida, Georgia. There was some other states, Connecticut. Not that Connecticut is big, but Connecticut's only going to have 3 skins, it looks like. And DraftKings already has 1 secured. So some of these states, it's going to be a battle for these operators to get in. And I think DraftKings leadership and their strong brand awareness, if you're a state, you want DraftKings, to be there. So I think that favors them going forward.
All right. So it looks like we got it moving on. Looks like we're getting a shout out on John Doe, giving us some good information. TBA on CNBC right now. Appreciate the shout out, John Doe. This is what it's all about. Help our audience out. If you see something that everybody should know, let us know, because that's what it's about, guys. We're here a community and we stick together on SPACs Attack, and that's what it's all really about. All right, let's keep rolling through here on the SPACs. So it looks like DKNG takes that first win. Next up, we got a good battle here, ChargePoint and PAE. Let us know a little bit more about these ones, Chris.
Yeah, so we got ChargePoint. This is a SPAC that I own. We're at 23 right now. This is one that traded all the way up to almost $50. Charging infrastructure play, battling against PAE. That's a company that does government support and contracts, trading at $8.56. So again, the trading under $10, this former SPAC, PAE, not a well-known one, but the government support, I think, is favorable with the new government that we have. But to me, I got to support my stock, and I'd have to hit a 1 for ChargePoint. And again, Biden infrastructure plan, charging stations across the country. I think it's a strong play this year and going forward. I think you're muted again, Mitch. Boom,
baby. All right, so I think that's what gets this boat started. Is that we need some support, we need some catalyst. We need some infrastructure bill being talked about. When you see that, I think that's when you start seeing these charging plays really start getting their motors going. So looks like I see the ones rolling through here. Hey, can't blame you guys. Can't blame you. Looks like 1 takes the win. All right, guys, let's move on to a close battle. I know we got an investor, young investor here. He was talking about this one. We had it on a little while ago. APPH here versus FSR. Are we getting frisky with Fisker? What's going on here?
Talk about a matchup. Shout out to young investor if you're still in here. App Harvest getting the love on our lunch show where young investor pitched ticker APPH. And that was after watching that interview we had with the president of App Harvest, David Lee. This is indoor farming against Fisker, an electric vehicle company. I do own shares of FSR. Fisker has had an impressive 2021 right now, and App Harvest has dipped since that SPAC merger went through. So to me, I like Fisker. I own shares of Fisker, but if you're talking which one's going to perform better from now till the rest of the year, I would almost favor App Harvest based on the chart and based on the trends here. So hit 1 for App Harvest, 2 for Fisker. What do you guys think? And this is a close battle in my opinion.
Yeah, close battle indeed. One of the things that I'd mention is who will win the race. Who's going to win the race here? To me, I think you need to start figuring out that the Fisker story, I love it. I love it, guys. But I just think it's going to take a little bit while to really get these vehicles rolling out of production and into kind of the consumer's hands where we could really start pushing Fisker. I'm going to go with APPH here just because I think they're faster in their strategy, already getting those tomatoes to the store. So let's see what we see in the chat here. Looks like there's some ones, some twos rolling through here. What's going on? It's a close battle here. I might have to even count here. So I'm seeing some ones roll through at first, but
I saw lots of late twos.
Late twos. You're leaning them.
Counted.
You're leaning them, Chris.
I had it counted, and I was all ready to say ones won it, and now I think the twos have it.
I don't know. What's going on, guys? It's a close battle. It's a close one. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take the move here?
I think two's got it. I do like that comment from Super SPAC Man out there. APPH this year, FSR next year, perhaps. I think that's a good way to look at it.
No money in tomatoes.
There's money in tomatoes.
Maybe they need to grow some grass. All right, guys. I'm going to say that the winner in this one actually surprises me, guys. Fisker with the buzzer beater. Guys, that's an overtime buzzer beater. We went 3 overtimes on this one, and Fisker takes the win. All right, moving on here. SFT versus MP. I've been waiting for this one. Chris, tell us a little bit about it. And then I got a little joke that I want to have fun
so
with.
we got SFT, Shift Technologies, press 1, online car sales against MP Materials, press 2, MP Materials, rare earth mining. We had CEO James Litinsky on the show months ago when this stock was trading at like $13. It is $46 today. Hopefully you all have watched the show for months and months and you were able to watch that interview. I don't know what the chat's going to say. Okay, I do. I see lots of twos. I would also have to go with the 2. MP Materials, rare earth mining, big story in 2021.
All right, guys. So let me take a look here. And what I got to say is don't kill me for this one, guys, because I know that someone's going to kill me for this one. But I'm going digging, baby. Go rush. Go rush. Even though if it's lithium play, whatever I'm digging for, you can send me out there. I'm going digging. One of my favorite shows here. I got to give them a shout out right there. But, hey, you guys hear me. I'm sticking with my MP here. MP to the moon. Let's see what happens. What's going on in the chat? We see those twos rolling through here. So definitely MP. No doubt. You know it. MP all the way. Everyone's super excited about this one. And the best part is, guys, when he was on the show, it was at $14. I can't say this enough. 14. Somebody take us back to that moment and give me some of the shares because I will take some.
I know. I wish we could rewind too, and I would have bought that one hand over fist at that time. But oh man, I did see a couple votes for 1, so not a complete shutout. But yeah, MP takes it very handedly. No surprise in my eyes here.
All right, guys. So moving on to the Midwest here. The Midwest. Now the Missouri can come out. Let's see you. Let's see you. What's going on, guys? First battle here. We got QS and HIMS.
Yeah, so we got QuantumScape battery technology. We got HIMS and HERS, a specialized digital healthcare company. Even though I think QuantumScape may be, a couple years away, I would have to go with QuantumScape here, a 1 versus HIMS and HERS with the 2. HIMS and HERS has dropped, and of course they got kicked out of the ARC ETF, so not very favorable, to see that move.
I don't know, man. HIMS, I mean, I wear these headsets all day long. I start looking at my hair. I'm like, yo, can I keep it? Can I keep it? And I say, I'm gonna surprise some people here. I'm gonna go with HIMS. For some reason, I just feel I've seen somebody actually use the product and the hair came back. That was the selling point for me. The hair was growing back to a guy that I hadn't seen hair on there for a good year. So I'm gonna have to stick with 2 here, even though I see the ones rolling through.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of 1s for the 1 seed here.
Everyone's going to probably call me crazy there, but hey, if it can grow hair, I'll take it. But it looks like US takes the win here. Illinois is moving on here. Next up, B-Fly versus L Pro.
Yeah, so we got Butterfly Technologies. That's the portable ultrasound company. Of course, a favorite of Kathy Wood in the ARC ETF. And then we have LPRO, LPRO, which is open lending, automated lending, which of course in the fintech space sounds very promising. Press 1 for Butterfly, 2 for open lending. I want to see some votes roll in before I say. But if you've watched the show before, you know I'm a big fan of the long-term story for Butterfly with Bill Gates investing, Bailey Gifford investing, and now Kathy Wood investing. I have to go with Butterfly here, and I'm looking forward to that earnings report next week to hear more news from them.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that we made fun of this before it switched over to B-Fly, is the ticker name. The ticker name itself told us it was going to fly, yo. So
should have
known, man. What was the ticker before? What was it?
Oh, this was LGVW, long
view, the view of the longs, guys. The view of all longs. I don't know about you, but I should have had this one.
I'm seeing lots of ones. Don't bet against Bill. Super SPACman says that's right. Bill Gates invested in Butterfly. I'm the same way. Bill Gates, Bailey Gifford, and Kathy Wood. That's a strong team to me. I'm going to go Butterfly. Looks like the chat, of course, saying Butterfly as well.
The long view, man. The views of all the longs. I can't be mad at them. All right, guys. So it looks like B-Fly moves on here, guys. Let's keep moving on. Next battle, VVNT versus VLDR.
Yeah, so we got Vivint Smart Home versus Velodyne, a LiDAR company. Vivint kind of snuck through. I can't remember who they beat, but it was an upset in that first round. Smart Home versus Velodyne, which, just had some news last week, I believe, with the former founder resigning from the board of directors. Again, I think LiDAR is crowded. This is a toss-up for me. I'm curious to see what the chat says. So 1 for Vivint, 2 for Velodyne. What do you guys think out there?
All right, guys. So starting to see a couple mentions here. And one thing I'd say, guys, is don't count VVNT out with the move that you're starting to see and kind of these new housing new projects that you're going to see, a new boom. Maybe we get the first-time buyer discount, and then maybe people want to start upgrading. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Looks like there's a battle here. It looks a little bit more like ones. I'm going to roll with 1 here. VVNT takes the win here. Let's go to our last battle here so that we can wrap up here in the next 4 minutes. AEVA versus Skills.
Yeah, so this is another battle with a LiDAR company. We have AEVA versus Skills, which is mobile person-to-person, wagering. They're, of course, in the bets and the nerd ETFs from our friends at Roundhill Investments. Skills was also the subject of a short report last, I think 2 weeks ago now. So this is an interesting battle because Skills has dipped a little bit. So SKLZ, press 2 and press 1 for AVA, 4D LiDAR. I, of course, would have to go 2 here for Skills. Mobile gaming, and betting put together. It's a winning combination in my eyes.
I don't know. I think everyone's counting on Skills being this great stock, and I just don't see it. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe I think Zynga has too much of a lead here, or Glue has too much of a lead here for Skills to compete. A lot of people like Skills. I mean, when it came out, people were all over it. But I think, I'm going to go here and vote 1, even though I see the 2s rolling through there. I think the 2s will probably take it. But hey, that's just how it goes, guys. Looks like there was 1 vote here in SPAC Broker vote with me. I would love to hear why SPAC Broker voted for 1, but we'll keep moving on here, and that's just how it is. All right, guys. So, hey, that looks like it's going to be it for us, at least for our second round here. Skills takes the win there. Let's take a look. Hey, well, looks like we got some winners here going to be moving on into the Sweet 16. And as we move closer and closer, we'll keep moving closer on our March SPACness, guys. Definitely, if you guys are enjoying the March Madness, hit the like button. This is why we did it, guys. We just wanted to have some fun, talk about some names, give you some insight so that, there's not many times we get to touch, 20, 30 odd names in one show. So I know there's a lot of people mentioning different tickers in the chat. There is one that I'm going to go back to. My man gave us a little tips. So
yeah,
we got to go back.
Find that super sticker talking about EXPC Blade Urban Air, saying people are sleeping on this. ArcQ owns 10%. Thinking it will also get added to PRCH, which is the upcoming space ETF. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the urban air mobility. There are several names in this space, Blade being one, Archer being another one, ACIC. We had the co-founder on our show. They have that deal with United Airlines, I believe. And then we also have RTP, bringing Joby Aviation public. I do own shares of RTP. For me, Blade, they did announce a deal in Chicago. So, I think there's strong growth there, and Kathy Wood picking that one over, she does also own ACIC. So great question out there. I love that space. I think it's being underrated right now with urban air mobility. I think people are going to want to fly in, helicopters and these devices going forward if they can save time and money.
All right. Well, now one thing I'd say about this one is I think what Kathy's doing here is playing the two-boat ride. And why I say the two-boat ride is because I think she's just diversifying here, playing them both, expecting one of them to be a winner. One of them probably is going to be a little bit of a loser here. So I'd keep your eye on all those. I mean, hey, they could definitely start moving, but I think, this isn't something that's going to happen in the next 2 months, guys. So personally, not on my radar, but hey, to each his own. If you like Blade Urban Air, then I can't blame you. It could be a Kathy pick. That it definitely could. I definitely agree with you there.
Mitch, let me put it on your radar. You mentioned earlier going to tour some of these factories. While you were gone that 1 week, when we had the Archer co-founder on, you know what he told me? He said, hey, when our device is ready, come fly with us. So if you want to hop in with me, we can go test out Archer. Hey. So I'm going to have to shout out Archer here in the space because they want us to come test the product. And I'm a supporter of that.
I have to agree with that. I'm gonna have to reach out to Archer and they're going to have to make me a believer. No better way than actually get on the product. So Blade,
if you're watching, come on the show. Let's talk and, let's hear about how you compete in the space as well. That's going to do it for us, guys. Great show again. As Mitch said, we do ticker time sometimes. We don't even get through that many tickers as we did today with March SPACness. So you heard opinions from the chat. You heard opinions from me, opinions from Mitch. Again, these are just opinions. Make sure to do your own due diligence. This is not investment advice. But I love sharing that opinion, getting you guys some of the behind the scenes with these SPACs in our March SPACness tournament. So, another exciting show. Thank you, everyone. Make sure you smash the like and hit subscribe.
Yeah, definitely, guys. We're going to keep working here to keep building, guys. So definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let us know how much you appreciate the SPACs Attack. Like Zach said, always some good vibes here on SPACs Attack. We help each other get the information we need to be the informed trader. So now, guess what, guys? We got the one and only Hot Stocks Luke's in the back, getting ready. I don't know if he's double fisting, but he's probably double fisting. My man, living off the monsters, but bringing you the hot stocks. All right, none other than Hot Stocks Luke's. Get it started. The Power Hour.